our dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of our program Africa Today. The Mediterranean Cairo said it is important to fund the green economy sector in order to face the challenges resulting from the climate change. This came during the Mediterranean Dialogues Conference in Rome, Italy. More details with Sameh Sharif.
Cairo said it believes the political solutions for the Syrian crisis are the only way to reach a settlement. Shukri made his remarks during a session at the 8th edition of the Rome Mediterranean Dialogues Conference, which are being held in the Italian capital from the 1st to the 3rd of December. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Abu Zaid said Shukri reviewed geopolitical challenges facing Egypt, including regional developments in Libya, Iraq and Sahara region, in addition to the Palestinian cause and attempts to revive the peace process. Shukri, who was president of the COP27 climate change conference recently held in Egypt, also reviewed Cairo's approach to negotiations during the conference to reach an agreement on launching a loss and damage fund. He said Egypt pays close attention to defending Africa's interests and promoting integration among African countries to achieve sustainable development. Shukri also spoke about the challenges related to food security, which have been worsened by the Ukrainian crisis, stressing the necessity of international efforts to reach a political settlement to this crisis. He also said it is necessary to work in parallel on an international mechanism to mitigate the repercussions of the crisis on developing countries. Shukri reviewed Egypt's huge capabilities as a regional energy hub and ways Egypt is ready to cooperate with Mediterranean partners in this field.
To shed light on that, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mohsen, renewable energy expert. Dr. Mohsen, good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you and everybody.
Thank you, sir, for being with us. Sir, how would you elaborate on the term green economy?
Well, Egypt is blessed by tremendous resources of clean energy. We have wind energy along the western coast of the Gulf of Suez, from extending from Sukhna to La Farana, Hurghada, and so on. We have tremendous solar energy resources also, and the government has started to make reforms in the laws that govern the electricity generation in Egypt and the electricity sector in general since 2015, and that has resulted in the opening in 2019 of the Bin Ben solar photovoltaic plant near Aswan, which has a capacity of 1.5 gigawatts of electricity, which is quite significant. Yeah, Egypt is really very, very well ready to move into a transition towards green economy.
Yes. Dr. Mohsen, how would you describe the global drive here to adopt the green economy?
Yeah, I mean, it has been since 2015. It has been very, very positive and very active and very dynamic, if you like. We saw also, I just mentioned Bin Ben solar photovoltaic, but we also saw the many foreign investors from the Emirates, from the EBRD, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and also private sector investors from Australia and so many other countries have been really attracted to the environment in Egypt and to invest in developing the green resources in Egypt, be it wind, solar, green hydrogen, because the green hydrogen, of course, has a big advantage of being very easy to export.
Yes.
A lot easier than to export electricity directly. So we've seen the wheel turning really quite well and quite positively, and that is very promising.
Yeah. Sir, what fields here of the economy are the first in line of adopting the green energy, and why?
Well, okay, we have many sectors that are turning green. We saw during the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh that the hotellery sector has really turned into or turned towards being green tourist places. Like, you know, they started in avoiding single-use plastic. They started recycling the waste generated by the hotel. They started heating the water that the residents use using solar heat instead of burning gas and so on, or using electricity. So the tourism sector has moved actively towards this. We also saw the announcement by the Minister of Environment in September this year that El Kharga city in the western part of Egypt, the Ministry of Environment has announced that El Kharga is now the first green city in Egypt. So many sectors. We see the transportation sector, for example. We see all those trains from the south of the country till the North Nile Delta, from the Red Sea towards Matruh and El New Alamein. When you move transportation using electricity, and especially if it's clean electricity, that of course reduces a lot of the pollution by the transportation sector.
Yes. Dr. Mohsen, how would the integration among the African countries help the achievement of the sustainable development as stated by Egypt?
Well, of course, Africa is a continent that is quite special. We have in Africa resources, but of course, financing is a big obstacle, if you like.
Yes.
But after COP27, things will start to improve, and we have a green fund now dedicated to Africa to develop the resources of clean energy in Africa for the use of Africans, and also to export to Europe and so on. And that, of course, will help reduce pollution, and will help improve the greenery of the life in the continent. And the big thing is that Egypt has a leading role in this. So now that we started producing the solar photovoltaic panels in Egypt, Egypt will become one of the most important suppliers of these solar energy photovoltaic panels to many countries in Africa.
Sir, also Foreign Minister Shukri said that Cairo is aiming to reach an agreement on launching a loss and damage fund over the climate change repercussions. What obstacles here are facing the swift creation of this important fund?
Well, the obstacles have been defined, very well defined, and they are mostly government laws and regulations and so on. And as I said at the beginning, since 2015, the government has really started to reform the laws to make sure that the private sector jumps into the development of new energy and clean energy, and therefore release the pressure from the budget of the government to do the transition. We saw this in Bin Ben. Bin Ben has been financed fully by the private sector, so the government didn't pay anything. We see now that there's going to be 10 gigawatts of wind financed by the Emirates. So the big obstacle, which was government regulations, has been solved, if you like. And the reforms are quite active and quite positive and quite significant.
Yes. Sir, what resources here equip Egypt to become a regional energy hub from your point of view?
Well, we are already exporting since at least 2 decades
Yes.
electricity to Libya on the west and to Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon on the eastern side. So Egypt has been already a significant player regionally, not just locally. And now we see that there is a connection, electrical grid connection,
Yes.
that is taking place between Egypt and Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And the objective is that Egypt starts to export electricity to Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries because their grids are linked together. So Egypt becoming a hub is something that we all are very happy to see happening. The green hydrogen in the industrial area of the Suez Canal Authority
Yes.
has been the construction of that green hydrogen plant has started, and we expect that by 2024 we will start to produce green hydrogen and export that to Europe.
Yes.
So that, of course, all draws the picture that Egypt is really a hub for energy in the region and beyond.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Amr Mohsen, our renewable energy expert, thank you so much for your very precious input. Always a pleasure to have you with us, sir. And as Europe braces for the unusual winter due to the global energy crisis, Greece is embarking on one of Europe's most ambitious energy projects by connecting its electricity grid to Egypt's. An underwater cable will transport 3,000 megawatts of electricity to power up to 450,000 households from northern Egypt to Attica in Greece.
In October, Cairo and Athens agreed to construct the Mediterranean's first undersea cable to transport electricity generated by solar and wind energy in North Africa to Europe. The project's total length is 1,373 kilometers. The Copilozos group is in charge of the project, and its executives met with Egyptians in October to speed up the process. The agreement comes at a time when Greece, Cyprus, and the Israelis want to invest $900 million in constructing a line connecting Europe and Asia that will be the longest and deepest energy cable across the Mediterranean. At a ceremony in Athens, Greek Energy Minister Kostas Strikas and Mohammad Shakir signed a memorandum of understanding on the project. Skrikas said this connection benefits Greece, Egypt, and the European Union. He explained that the project would help to build an energy hub in the Eastern Mediterranean and improve the region's energy security. Besides boosting the share of renewable energy sources in the energy mix and lowering greenhouse gas emissions in the energy sector, the project is anticipated to enable the export of renewable energy from Egypt to Greece in periods of high renewable energy generation and vice versa. The project is scheduled to start in 2028.
Vincent Abu Bakr scored late to give Cameroon a historic win over Brazil. But it was not enough to secure their advance to the next stage of the World Cup in Qatar after Switzerland defeated Serbia in the group's other game. More details with Samah Sharif.
Jeremy Ngom Bekele, the only member of Cameroon's team who plays for a Cameroonian club, made an inspiring run and cross to set up Vincent Abubakar's header and stoppage time winner in a 1-0 victory to make the indomitable Lions the first African nation to beat Brazil at a World Cup. Despite the victory on Friday, Cameroon finished third in its group and was eliminated. The 24-year-old Ngom Bekele was Cameroon's final substitution, coming on 4 minutes from time. Goalkeeper Davis Appice thrust into action after usual starter Andre Onana, was sent home for disciplinary reasons after a dispute with Song before Cameroon's previous game earned player of the match honors for a series of difficult saves. Both Episi and Abu Bakr play for clubs in Saudi Arabia. With 8 goals in 7 games, the 22-year-old Abu Bakr was the top scorer at the African Cup of Nations in January. Song and Samuel Eto'o's Cameroon Soccer Federation president are instilling a strict discipline policy modeled after the European clubs that they once played for. Song as a reliable defender and Eto'o as a standout striker. While Brazil had already advanced and used mostly reserves, Cameroon still became the first team to beat the 5-time champion in the World Cup group stage since Norway did it at the 1998 tournament in France, ending an unbeaten run of 17 group matches.
Well, with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of our program Africa Today. Till tomorrow with another cruise. Goodbye. Many thanks for watching.